Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. Second of 4 live prediction shows tonight. We're spoiling everyone tonight, Jay. We've got Jay's Fight Talk and Liam Tully with me. As always, how are we, boys?
Yeah.
Good, thanks.
Good. Yeah, a bit of a sigh from Liam Tully about this one. We've got a fight that many boxing protagonists are not looking to cover, but I said it yesterday. The elephant in the room for me is it's getting loads and loads of coverage. It's on a fight that's full of decent. Well, there's some decent boxing fights on the undercard. To be honest with you, it's not an influencer card or anything like that.
No.
The main event is what it is, and we're going to talk about that here in this short video. But Jake Paul has been fighting basketball players, more recently mixed martial arts guys like Anderson Silva and Nate Diaz. And Mike Perry was who he fought last time out, wasn't it? Tyson shot to bits, in my opinion. 19 years ago, was getting stopped by Kevin McBride, who couldn't lace his boots a few years before that. I'm going to give you the floor, Jay, because I know you've a bit to say. I know where you're going to try and keep a lid on it as best as you can, but just give me your thoughts and why is a 58-year-old Mike Tyson in the ring?
I'm not never one to not voice my opinion. I don't like it. It's dangerous.
Mate, you sit on the fence too much. You do. That's your problem.
I do. I know I do, but I'm not going to this time. I'm going to try and give my.
No, winds him up, mate. He's already ready to go.
But no, in all seriousness, look, I'm 47, right, and I know I'm not a former, multiple, world champion. I'm the youngest heavyweight champion in history, right? But I'm 47, of fairly decent health, right? I probably couldn't get sanctioned under the British Boxing Board of Control. And I've boxed as an amateur, so I've got previous experience, right? But I've not boxed for 20-some years. So I probably couldn't get sanctioned to box Northern Area, English title, smoker show, professional. Couldn't, right? Tyson is 58 years old, right? He's a grandfather. He's not really looked after himself. He does mushrooms and smokes weed most days, right? And does podcasts and sells cannabis for a living. And he's just gets paid for being Mike Tyson, right? We all love him. Icon of the sport, one of the greatest of his era, yada, 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 right? He's been sanctioned to fight a 200-pound athlete, right? He's not really a boxer, Jake Paul. He's an athlete that's learning to box, and he's learning as he goes along, and he's getting better, but he's picking his fights. Mike Perry's going to beat him. Mike Perry's 175 pounds in his wet clothes with 5 pound weights in his pockets, right? He's about 5'7", 5'8". Jake Paul's a big lump, right? And he can have a spin now. He's learning as he went along. Tommy Fury's, who's pretty shit anyway, but he struggled to beat him, and he's a light heavyweight, really. He's not a cruiserweight, but blew up to fight him, didn't he, at 190 or whatever they fought.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's really flipping dangerous. You used, Sam, you posted Evander Holyfield getting stopped by Victor Belfort. And Victor Belfort's my age, I think, and was past
Victor Belfort was well over the hill with that. Well over the hill.
Holyfield could not take those shots. He couldn't take them. The fear for me is, yes, Mike Tyson looks really good on the pads, even though his coach looks terrified because you can't tell whether his punches are going to hit him in his face. He's like that with pads falling all over the rope, just letting Mike, yes, very good, very good. Right? Mike Tyson's nuts. He'll do it, right? And he'll look good for 3 or 4 minutes. And then I'm worried that Jake Paul's going to stick a couple on him. And Jake Paul's not a concussive puncher, but he's a big lump. Mike Tyson could take a bat and fall. We saw him in Roy Jones box. Oh my God. One of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
that was on one of these Jake Paul cards. That's what he fought the basketball player, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's right. It actually was.
Boys,
it's over 8 twos and in 14-ounce gloves. Is that going to have any impact on whether there's knockout? I
might save Tyson. It could save Mike if he has no punch resistance. The fact they're 14 ounce.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen loads of kids get knocked out with 16-ounce sparring gloves on.
That was going to be my argument. Yeah.
Like you said, Jay, it's a big lump.
After 3 or 4 rounds, when their hands are all sweating, that's like an hammer. It's not a pillow. Do you know what I'm saying? It's solid, so it could make it worse, to be fair, because it's an heavier hand. I just fear that Tyson's going to run out of gas after 3 or 4 rounds and be a punch bag. And It should
Look,
be
one thing
sanctioned,
about
but-
Jake Paul, he can punch. Like, he might not be very good technically, and like you say, he's a big lump. You know, you look at his knockout over Tyron Woodley. You know, and that was a well-timed shot actually, and he folded Woodley in half. He was sleeping before he hit the canvas. And you know, yeah, he's an MMA guy, Tyron Woodley, decent enough striking, but he's a wrestler, really, isn't he? That was always his base.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't care. I don't care if you're Jake Paul or if you're a middleweight boxer or YouTuber, whatever you want to call it. You know, I believe any of them. If they hit Mike Tyson at 58 years old, around the face flush, they're gonna put him away. He had no resistance 19 years ago against Kevin McBride. You do not get better at 58 years old.
To be fair, Tyson never really held a good shot all his career. He never got clipped.
Yeah, there was always vulnerability there.
Yeah, first time he got clipped, he got beat, really. Tyson's thing was staying out of the way. Fast, pendulum movement, and then explosive. He's only going to be able to do that 2 or 3 times, and then he'll be blowing out of his ass. He's nearly 6. Listen, I'm blowing out my ass running up steps, and he's got 11 year on me. Do you know what I'm saying? And I try to keep fit. Tyson don't keep fit. He's done a camp. If you saw Tyson before this fight were made, his belly were hanging over his pants. He was a 58-year-old granddad.
Yeah, just enjoying life.
The fruits of his life.
Yeah.
And now he's had to drill his body and break it and bash it to fit.
Yeah, stinks of a business transaction to me. Tyson's getting paid 20 million. Jake Paul's getting paid 40 million. Netflix are involved.
That, you know, there are caveats to the contract, and for once, I fucking hope there is. Do you know what I'm saying? Where Jake can't knock him out, or this can't. I'd love that, and let him just con everybody. Let it be a pantomime, a load of bullshit, dance around, spar for 8 rounds, and done. Jake Paul wins on points, or it's a draw or whatever. I'd love to see that, and I hate that. But for this particular fight, I'd love nothing better than it to be scripted nonsense, because it is nonsense. So it should, you know, have a script. Why not go whole hog?
Mm-hmm. It's just it's what Jake Paul is. Let's not for a second pretend, despite everything you're hearing on social media and stuff this week, that he's going to call out Canelo Alvarez after he beats Mike Tyson and all that jazz. Let's not for a second kid ourselves in that Jake Paul is some killer that's going to, you know, get one of those UFC cereal box belts off of Turkey for being an undisputed champion. That's not what's going to happen with him. This is his level, but you're now digging up, like we said, a 58-year-old that hasn't fought since 2005, who's, you know, 58 years old, who you've already had to put conditions on the fight, i.e. it's 2-minute rounds, not 3-minute rounds. You're wearing 14-ounce gloves. Mike Tyson still has to pass another brain, heart, and something else scan tomorrow after the weigh-in before it's 100% going to happen. I mean, if he fails anything, I hope they pull it, but there'll be brown envelopes and it will still happen. But this is more intense than a normal fight. But it's going on Jake Paul's professional record. It's going on Mike Tyson's professional record.
Mental, isn't it? I'm surprised
I'd have a lot more
George Foreman back, for God's sake.
I'd have a lot more respect for it if it was billed as an exhibition, like when Mayweather fought Jake's brother.
It is an exhibition, isn't it? 14-ounce gloves and 8 2-minute rounds. How is it a pro fight? It's not a pro fight.
When Mayweather fought Jake's brother, I didn't watch. I had no interest in it, but that was billed as an exhibition. There was no winner or loser at the end of it because Floyd Mayweather and flipping another YouTuber. Oh, let's think about that. One of the best fighters ever and a YouTuber. That's not a fight you can make. Yeah,
but they're
I'd
selling
have more
this
respect.
as a fight. Mate, I were on Netflix last night. There's a documentary like
it's everywhere. Like they're really Netflix have put a lot of effort into this financially. You know, and I heard the ticket sales aren't great and all the rest of it. That's a freak show. Nothing else. Yeah, you're right, Pat.
You can buy tickets. I mean, I hope, are they banking on it selling a load of pay-per-views? Because
it's not pay-per-view, mate. It's Netflix.
No, it's not. It's Netflix. So what are they banking on?
Well, look, they're banking on loads of Netflix people subscribing to Netflix, aren't they? That's
absolutely not, mate. If I didn't have Netflix, I'd just borrow someone's login or do something. I ain't paying for that.
I tell you what'll be funny, Jay and Liam. Keep an eye out for the press conferences scheduled for midnight tonight. just keep an eye out for a big scrap or a big ruckus at the Iron Mike Tyson's back, and he gives just keep an eye out for that, because I guarantee you they'll be ramping it up, and then the weigh-ins are all shoving each other, and that's how they get the casual audience.
Think he's going to lean over to Jake and say,
one thing about him, he can promote himself.
He might lean over to Jake and say, I'll F you till you love me.
He gives it, or to do that thing with the Lennox Lewis press conference when they're on the stage or whatever it is, and then they just start brawling. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
You might as well, Tyson. Just clip it.
Just do it, man.
Because listen, if Tyson puts it on his chin, he's going to sleep. There's no two ways about that. But I don't think he's not Mike Tyson.
I'll be honest with you, mate. That's why I'm staying around after Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
Because you don't know what you're going to get.
Just in the hope that 58-year-old Mike just pulls one of those famous shots out and sleeps the kid. But we know it's not happening. It's a business transaction. It's probably, set up in a way that, it stinks, doesn't it, somewhere along the way? It really does.
Jake will just cover up like this on ropes for a minute and a half. Tyson's done then. That's it. He's done. Second round, he might have 30 seconds, a minute. Tyson's going to have little short bursts. He can't do full 8-2s at a decent pace. He's 58. I don't care how fit he's got in camp.
Yeah, he's got all them big, heavy muscles as well. He ain't going
He
16
looks
minutes.
amazing. He looks at best he's ever looked recently. But he's 58, man. He's 58. That's all you need to say. Yeah, he's fit. Yeah, he's done this. Yeah, he's beat these records. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's 58. Mate. That's it.
Yeah, Pat's agree with you there, Liam, about past these
I'll give you another example. Last year, was it last year or the year before? We had an awards evening. Some national supplier, and they invited us down to Tux and all that nonsense, and it was at Reading. And the next day, they just split us into two teams. And I knew it would come in, played on the pitch at Reading, and I've not played football for donkeys, and I thought, I keep myself fit, man. I'll be at mate, please believe me. I was like that after 2 minutes. Yo, sub, hammy's gone. Yeah, shoulders gone, knees gone. None of it had gone. I was just blowing out my backside. And that, I didn't play any levels near the type of levels Tyson was at originally. But the level he was at 20 years ago he's not beating Julius Francis and the likes of them and McBride and people that couldn't, like you said, lace his boots 10 years prior to that. And he were getting smoked by these guys, not just beat, getting dealt with. It's scary, man. He's a 60-year-old granddad. But we'll all be watching it in anticipation that he catches him and knocks him out.
So then, what are your thoughts on the actual result, both of you? Like, what do you actually think? I know it's ridiculously hard
Jake Paul points. It's Jake Paul points.
Go on, Liam.
Mike Tyson gets disqualified. Now, I'm joking. It's something crazy.
All right, it's crazy. Jay's fight talk up here in the top corner.
It's a crazy batshit fight that shouldn't be a professional fight on a crazy promotion. Jake Paul's got custom ear guards so his ears can't get bitten. I've seen something earlier and all that bollocks.
That's actually quite funny.
Yeah, it's not gonna look. If it happens how it should happen, Jake Paul points. But
sorry, Liam, but if it's a pro fight, he's not allowed to wear fucking ear guards. Knobhead.
Mate, it's all bollocks and bullshit.
Do you understand what I'm saying though? People are dumb, don't they?
Yeah.
2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves and ear guards. All right, yeah, it's a real fight.
Yeah. Look, if it's a real fight, Jake Paul wins it. If it's treated as the circus it is, something absolutely batshit is going to happen. And yeah, Tyson gets disqualified. Jake ends up thrown out the ring. Who knows? But it's inconsequential. Look, Mike Tyson wins this. We're not going to be saying, get him Usyk. Go on, put him in with Usyk next year. That'll be a great fight.
There'll be someone out there.
Yeah, but
my fear is
people belong in a certain little corner of the world.
I hope not, because we may see a death at some stage.
We're going to see Mike again if he wins.
Against who, though? Flipping... Oh, don't say it. Riddick Bowe. He's always scrounging around, isn't he? If desperate for a fiver. Trying to get paid to sign stuff. There'll be some knobhead that'll come out of nowhere.
Need to go for Tyson will
put
KO
fight
Jake
together.
in the first round, but realistic draw, nothing else. Jab, dab, running, playing around. Yeah, I'm going to be that guy, boys. Unfortunately, I think Jake Paul will nail Tyson with one of the first punches that he hits him with. I don't think he'll have any punch resistance whatsoever. I feel like we're just kidding ourselves, unless it's orchestrated. That's the only other.
Yeah. I'm kidding myself. I'm not going to shy away from it. I don't want Mike Tyson to get beat. I'm devastated that he's in the fight, and I fear for him. But I think he'll be able to orchestrate, his way around and manipulate things and be cute enough. Even though he won't when he boxed, he was never the best defensively. But I think he's experienced enough to be able to stay. I think Jake's shit enough for Tyson to be able to bridge that gap and keep him away from him or get close to him so he can't knock him out. I don't think he'll knock Tyson out. I hope not. I really hope not. If he does, Jake Paul, you're fighting me next, Mush. Swear to God, I'll
Jake
find
Paul
you.
versus Jay's Fight Talk.
He knocks Tyson out. That's it.
We've got Jake Paul points for Jay's Fight Talk. We've got Liam thinks a DQ's coming Mike Tyson's way. I've got Jake Paul winning quite early, in my opinion. But yeah, nothing's concrete. We'll see what happens. We've given it enough airtime now, I'd imagine, probably, boys. We're going to move on now to a couple of UFC prediction videos for the main event and co-main event. But yeah, we'll be there. We'll be watching it. We'll watch the Freak Show, of course. We will. It's live on Netflix. We've already got subscriptions. Don't need to pay any more. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano's on right before it. We'll probably catch Barrios as well versus Ramos before.
The only reason we're there is because of what the fight is before. If we're being really
honest,
Taylor
like I said, if it's a standalone pay-per-view, I would be nowhere near it. But the fact it's included in my Netflix subscription, I'll be there for Katie Taylor and Serrano. I'd be lying to myself if I said I wasn't going to watch it. So be there, be watching. We'll see how the look, just keep an eye out on the weigh-in and press conference. I'm convinced that there's going to be some shenanigans going on. See you, Pat. Take care. Yeah, I'm convinced there's going to be some shenanigans in the.
Me too, but I wish I could stay awake till 12 o'clock on a weeknight. Absolutely not, mate.
No, I won't be there for that. No chance.
I will be checking the headlines at 5:30 a.m. when I get up tomorrow.
I'll be there for that. Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. DJ Pat, obviously in the comments as well. We shall see you for the watch along, and if you're into the UFC, be checking us out in a couple of minutes.